Big Z Reviews. Eternals is the newest Marvel film, and the first one in a long time that I just didn't like.
We're Eternals. We came here 7,000 years ago to protect humans from the deviants.
So Eternals was directed by Chloe Zhao and stars way too many characters that we're seeing for the very first time and that aren't very big in the comics that most people don't know about. But like the two main characters of the film, probably Gemma Chan as Circe and Richard Madden as Icarus. And you also have like Angelina Jolie, Salma Hayek, and a bunch of other people. But like there's way too many people, especially for a movie. Like this thing just felt so bloated. And so many of them, like, I felt like they could have combined them. Like they weren't that different. They're all just humans that have random magic powers, and they're like gods, but they're so kind of soulless. Like a lot of them are just kind of emotionless until they show emotion, and it's just like, But like I just it feels like a DC movie. They're kind of like archetypes, and and you see like literally Icarus is just straight up Superman, except less powerful. And they make a joke about it in the movie, and it's odd to call it out like that. And there's something about it where so much of the movie is like they have to go. Gemma Chan is going around trying to find all the Eternals after they've been separated for like a lot, like hundreds or thousands of years or whatever. And like so much of it is that like a team gathering film, but then the rest of it is like flashbacks to when they were killing all the deviants and living through time. And it's like it's so bloated. This whole film, like it's long. I was bored, and it makes me think that you have Disney Plus. Why not do an introductory TV show? You could have put a lot of stuff as a TV show introducing these characters, so you didn't have to do so much groundwork in this film. Like and it's so weird too. Like I said, it's like a DC film, but it's like the Joss Whedon cut of Justice League, because so much of it will be really dark and serious, and then they'll have a bunch of jokes. Usually provided by Kumail Nanjiani as Kingo. And I mean, they're not horrible, but they feel out of place. Like I said, they feel like the Joss Whedon scenes in Justice League. And it's odd. And it's just, the whole movie, like, it jumps around, like, it's so serious and kind of dark, and then they have, like, really stupid comedy. And it's a lot of time the comedy is around, like, how the movie is annoying. Like the guy that's filming Kumail Nanjiani, like he's like doing a documentary behind the scenes of the Eternals, and he'll like, oh, time for the action scene. It was getting kind of boring there, and it's like, yeah, it was. Thank you for that. And like there's multiple times it does something like that where like it's like it calls out on something that's awkward in the film with a joke, and then it's like, yeah, but like just because you called out that it was bad doesn't mean it isn't still bad, And a couple, like the CGI is kind of mixed. Like sometimes I felt like, oh, they're just on they're all standing in front of a green screen. And other times, like I felt like some of the funnier stuff, I swear, were reshoots, because like there's one dinner scene when they're all sitting around the table, like after they get Angelina Jolie and Ma Dong-seok as Gilgamesh. Like when they're having dinner with them, like something about it feels like none of them are on set together. Like something about how it pieced together, it looks like they're not actually sitting around the table. Like I don't know, like something about it looked odd. But I mean, it's so tough to do this. It's like at least in Guardians of the Galaxy, you have a team of only 5 characters, but each character is incredibly unique and weird. And this one you have, I don't know, like 8 characters? 10, 9? I mean, you have so many characters, and they're all kind of the same, and it makes it so tough to care about any of them. And it's like, I just, but the thing is, like, if you had that many people in a TV show, I think it's easier because you can spend more time with them, and you can even go like each episode could be kind of, you could have like shown what they've been doing for this past 100 years or something. You know, like there's so much more you could do with the Eternals in a long format in a TV show. Like it feels like they missed out. Like you could do a lot of the stuff in this, like the bigger stuff, they could have still done, but then they could have had a tighter film, and then they not have all of them going around searching for him and explaining the backstory. Like I think that just made it long in the tooth and kind of boring. And honestly, the whole like deviant things and like the one deviant is like killing Eternals and absorbing their powers and becoming stronger. Like that could be an interesting film, especially if it starts killing people that we cared about. Like when people are killed, like, well, why do I care about them? I don't. You know, but if we had a TV show and we all, they were like, we felt like, oh, when they died it meant something. You know, it'd be much more important. But in this one, and there's, I feel like there's also, I won't spoil it, but the stuff where maybe some of the characters aren't who they say they be, or maybe they're not the good guy, and like that stuff has been done so many other times in DC and in other shows and other like comic shows about a bad superhero. I'm trying not to spoil it, but like there's like it's been done elsewhere better. But like they could have really delved into that more, but they kind of didn't. But like they did that, and they had the deviant that becoming getting their superpowers, but they don't fully do that either. But like it could have been like a good slasher fic almost, where this superhero monster is getting stronger and stronger and more intelligent as it absorbs their powers, and that could be the big bad. But like in the end, it's really not. It's like I'm not, again, I don't want to spoil it, but like what they do with him is just like, oh, that's it. Like it's so odd. And then like the whole the climax towards the end, I don't hate it, but it's just so much mixed messaging with some people that seem super powerful and they aren't powerful at all, and then like this giant thing that to talk about the Eternals, it doesn't really work if you try to be in the real world. But like, then if you even think about how this Eternal is inside the Earth and it's coming out, and that's like the like, I don't know why everything has to be so big. Like there is no sky beam, but essentially this Eternal waking up is this movie's version of a sky beam, and like it breaks the tension because of course it's not gonna come out and destroy the world. You're not gonna destroy the world in this movie. You know, it's not gonna happen. We know there's more movies coming, and it just kind of breaks the tension. Like if it's something smaller scale, like something could happen. Like all the Eternals could be killed by it or something. But having it world demolishing, it's just that it breaks the tension because you know it's not going to happen, and it's just. I don't know. I did not like it. I think other people might like it, but I just didn't think it was very good. And I mean, the action, the CGI, it's all CGI fights, so it's nothing that well crafted. Like it's not like Shang-Chi was so good with all the action scenes. Like there's none of that in this. It's all just a CGI fest, and the CGI is a mixed bag too. But I mean, I just didn't like it. It wasn't for me. It's like this is probably like the worst Marvel film since Thor: The Dark World, and it's just like I probably like Thor: Dark World and the original Hulk. Like I think are the only two films that I think are worse than this one. And it's just I don't think I want to go back to see it again ever. I don't know. Like I don't think it's really worth a watch, especially in theaters. I'd probably give it like a 6 out of 10. Or 5.5 out of 10. But thanks for watching. If you want to see more of me, you can subscribe down below. Thanks.